The ranch is at the Americana Fest 2023. Now, let's check in with Shayne Hollinger.
Hanging out at Americana Fest, speaking with Austin Cox from the band Desert Folk. Just put on a fantastic set.
Man, I appreciate it, man.
That is a cool sound you guys have. It's almost, I hate to compare you to another band, but almost Kings of Leon-ish.
Yeah, man, for sure.
It was like, So what is your background in music, Austin?
Man, I grew up in West Texas, man. I actually grew up playing church music.
So,
yeah, man.
A lot of guys have. It's wild.
Yeah, man, that's kind of I grew up in the pews, man. My mom was a worship pastor, and I just used to sit on the pews when I was little and watch her sing and wish I was a drummer, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
My dad was a Church of Christ preacher, so we had absolutely no music whatsoever.
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
I was Pentecostal, man. So we burnt the ceiling down.
So this band, Desert Folk, tell me about this band.
Yeah, man. So this was it's a new project for me, and I love Texas music. I love country music. Country music is my heart and soul. But I grew up with church music and punk rock and stuff like that, and I'm just trying to just kind of cut loose and try and just blend the genres and just trying to mix everything that I love.
Right. What you're doing is extremely unique, and that's what's cool about it.
I appreciate that.
And that's what's cool about the Americana, the term Americana. I'm asking every artist out here, to them, what is Americana music? And every answer's different. What's yours?
Man, so, I think the Americana term, depending on who you're talking to, sometimes that puts a bad taste in people's mouth.
Yeah.
I personally think it's incredible.
Right.
Because it gave so many different artists and so many sounds a genre and a platform.
Exactly.
It's a format now. And I think it's wonderful, man, because you can have, just traditional country, blues, folk music, bluegrass, soul. And I think that's awesome, personally.
Isn't that incredible, though, that you can have a genre that does that and it doesn't limit you?
Oh, absolutely. And that's the best part of it, is it doesn't limit you. And, you can do what we do and call it Americana. Like we say, kind of Americana indie rock, I guess, kind of more of that, like Kings of Leon.
You have a really long business card, basically.
Yeah.
Trying to get all that in.
Yeah. Absolutely. But, I love the genre. It's one of my favorite genres, man. I love traditional country, but I really love folk music. I love singer-songwriters, and I'm just happy that there's a format that gives someone like me the opportunity, to be a part of it.
So you get the opportunity to be whoever you are, whatever that may be.
Exactly.
And that's the coolest thing about it. Let's talk a little business now. Of course, Austin Cox is also with Printed Threads.
Yes, sir.
Does all the ranch merch. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Do a lot of band merch as well. Yeah. And then you guys have this new thing called the Merch Stable.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about that. Tell us about this. This is a really cool idea.
Man, I appreciate it. Yeah, so we were trying to figure out just a way to help not just large artists, right? So we print for a lot of touring artists,
right?
But in Fort Worth, there's such a phenomenal scene of really talented artists doing, smaller stuff. They're not on the road months at a time.
Yeah.
And also some of the smaller artists trying to get their foot in the door. And merch is really important. I'm very passionate about T-shirts.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity to help small artists make some money and get from, show to show. But it's expensive, It can get expensive, so we were trying to wrap our heads around a way that we could offer merch to anybody, where you don't have to put all the money down up front. So we built an e-commerce platform to where artists can we can print one shirt for them, and instead of lugging around a bunch of merch or invest in it, they can set that one shirt on their merch table with a QR code. And wherever they go, their fans can just scan the QR code and buy the shirts directly from their phone, and we ship it to them. And it doesn't require any upfront costs for the artists.
That's great.
A lot of people that we talked to during our R&D, they were like, man, I love buying merch at shows, but I hate lugging it around.
Right.
And I was a little nervous about that, but people have really latched onto it. They like the idea of, I want that shirt, scan it on their phone, and they get it in a few days in the mail.
One of the things for me was when I first heard about this, I was like, thank God, because when I go to a show, I always want to buy merch, because let's be honest, nobody's buying music anymore. So the way the bands make money is a lot of times through their merchandise sales.
Absolutely.
Well, venues take a cut a lot of times on that, so that gets around this thing. But also, like, me as a fan, I want to buy that T-shirt, but I want to buy it at the beginning of the show because I want to lug it around the whole time because I'm going to lose it. And then by the time I get out there at the end of the show, well, they're out of my size. And then I wasn't able to help. So this is a cool way to get around that thing. And like you said, it's going to save so much trailer room for these guys as well.
Oh, man. I mean, we're already seeing some cool stuff happen with it. We not trying to name drop or anything like that, but Jason Bolin and the Stragglers is one of my clients. I love those guys. And they just played here in Nashville at the Ryman recently.
Yeah.
Sold way more merch than they expected to.
How crazy.
And so they hollered at me and they're like, man, how fast can you get us some merch?
Yeah.
And so we put it in the system, but I went ahead and I shipped them a handful of shirts with the QR code. I set them up on Merch Stable.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, if you run out of sizes until we can get you the boxes, just have your fans scan it and whatever, and it's been working for them.
What a super cool idea.
Yeah, it's just convenient, man.
You got a lot of cool about you, Austin.
I appreciate it.
Cool ideas, a great band, man. So, Desert Folk, this song Every Day that you sent me.
Yeah, Everything.
Or Everything, sorry.
Yes, sir.
That is such an unreal, cool song.
I appreciate it.
Like, how new is that?
Literally just came out today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man.
So you gave it to me early. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So we're going to start playing that. As a matter of fact, it is it's way too cool of a song, and that's the cool thing about Americana is you guys are a little rock and roll, and I'm a big rock fan anyway. So like, you guys are right in my wheelhouse, man.
That's awesome.
It's
I appreciate
very cool. So thank you for sending that, man. Thank you for all you do to help out of these artists, and thank you for creating some really cool music.
Yeah, man.
And thank you for again nobody being able to figure out what Americana music is.
Right. Well, I appreciate you guys, man. I've been listening to the Ranch for a long time. Y'all actually got me into Texas music and country music.
Yeah.
First time I moved to Fort Worth, I was flipping through radio stations, and it was Chris Stapleton. What are you listening to? Remember before Traveler came out?
Yeah.
You were playing it, and I was like, what is this? And I programmed it in my car, and I've been listening to it nonstop. So
it's cool. At that time, Chris Stapleton was Americana.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Wild.
So crazy. Now he's a household name.
Oh, yeah.
Austin Cox, Desert Folk, thank you so much for chatting with us, buddy.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you.